of a lot of bones and fossils that support that evolutionary model?
What I do for my students on campus, I say, rather than talk about which fossils are human and which fossils are ape, why don't we look at all of the supposed ape-human fossils that we've collected? And they say, all of them? I say, yeah, all of them. Only 25. That is all of them. That's all we have. All of them put together would fit on your desk. And so we examine each one, and I give them a picture of an ape. And most of the time, what we're looking for is the jawbone, because that's where we can see the biggest difference between apes and humans. And you have to understand the difference between juvenile ape jawbones and adults, okay? And after I've shown them every single fossil and they can compare it, I'm saying they can decide for themselves which ones are human and which ones are ape. There's Neanderthal, which for many years we claimed was ape man. Now we admit, scientists admit, Neanderthal was fully human in every aspect. And of course you can see it from comparing the jawbone.
Carbon dating, we're told the fossil record, all those things refute this idea that life here is young and we've been here for millions of years. What would you say to someone like that?
When you understand the assumptions that go behind carbon-14 dating, which measures the age, it purports to measure the age of things that are alive. What it actually measures is the ratio of carbon-14, which is radioactive, to carbon-13, which is not. That's what it actually measures. And we assume that that measures age. Radiometric dating, there are many different types of radiometric dating. The most common is potassium-argon. Uranium-lead is the second kind. We're measuring the ratio of what we call the mother element, which is radioactive, to the daughter element, which it degrades to. Potassium-argon, we're talking about potassium, and it degrades to argon. When we're talking about uranium, it degrades to lead over millions of years. If you know where the mother element came from, then maybe it might answer the question for you. But let's just talk simply about carbon-14. Carbon-14 only measures the ratio of things that are alive. Because carbon-14 is radioactive and it's in the air, the current ratio is about 1 carbon-14 atom to a trillion carbon-13 atoms. We breathe it in. We're breathing it in right now. We breathe in carbon-14. Trees, anything that's alive breathes it in. When you die, your carbon clock starts ticking because you have stopped taking in carbon-14. And we assume then, if we can measure the ratio of carbon-14 to carbon-13, that we know how long it was that ago that you died. There are several assumptions there. We assume that the ratio of carbon-14 to 13 was the same in the past that it is today. We also assume that the ratio never changed. We've shown scientifically that both those assumptions are false. But there's another thing we have to remember that's really important. Carbon-14 is one of the strongest evidences that we have for creation, and a recent creation. Why is that? Because carbon-14 has a half-life of only 6,000 years. That is, in 6,000 years, half of the carbon-14 is gone. Another 6,000 years, half of it is gone, half of it is gone. Until you get to about 50,000 years, there should be no carbon-14 left in anything that is over 50,000 years old. 50,000 years old. Well, guess what? The oldest elements on Earth, gas, oil, coal, all have carbon-14 in them. That means that they're the oldest things. There should be none there to show that they're billions of years old. It means that nothing on this planet is older than 50,000 years. They are young. It supports creation.
Well, I got one more question for you. Perspective. Yeah, is there an impact on society? Or is it really just a scientific idea?
If evolution is true, you should be out for number one. You should do everything you can to take advantage of other people's weakness. You're just keep fulfilling how we got here to begin with. You know, they come up with all these theories. Where did altruism come from and all that? But it doesn't matter. With evolution, you'll find something to back up opposite beliefs even. I like to read a lot of popular books on physics, but they always come back, evolution, evolution, evolution. And it's a little freaky to me to live in a culture, and I realize the overwhelming, overarching worldview that dominates intelligentsia, that dominates the thinking of, almost all these people, is not only wrong, but it's radically.
Examine the evidence for yourself and make up your own mind. Real scientists are not afraid of the science and the evidence.
That's right. It's like truth is like a diamond. The more you scratch at it, the more brilliant it becomes. We don't have to be afraid of questions. Only afraid of those that stop the questioning.
That's right. That's right. That's right.